evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rebel Racing Network and the American Esports Racing Association. I'm your commentator tonight, Austin Householder. We are coming to you live from the beaches of Miami at Homestead Miami Speedway, a 1.5-mile oval located just outside of Miami in Homestead, Florida, where these drivers will compete for 135 laps. And there is a lot on the line tonight. Tonight, we crown a champion in AERA's inaugural season. We'll get a live look at the points here. So coming into this race, leading the points race is Dawson Price with 263 points. There are two drivers still in the running. Joshua Edmonds can still mathematically win the championship over Dawson Price. He trails by 50 points with 2,213 points. David Joyner also still in the running with 2,208 points. But they will have to run a perfect race, and Dawson Price is going to have to finish at the tail end of the field for that to be possible. And looking further back in the points, Seth LaCroix currently in fourth with 2,201 points. Omar Rodriguez in fifth with 2,192 points. Tristan Haynes drops to sixth with 2,191 points. Joseph Miller moves up to seventh with 2,166 points. Wesley Carter in eighth with 2,159 points. Alex Pelican will drop to ninth with 2,141 points. And Joseph Truskowski drops all the way down to 10th with 2,128 points. But I have just been informed that there is some good news for Joshua Edmonds and David Joyner. Dawson Price has informed Rebel Racing Network that he is currently dealing with a high fever right now and does not feel at the top of his game. And you see his car there. He is sitting on pit road trying to get some fluids in him and get ready for this one. So there is still hope for Joshua Edmonds and David Joyner to be able to snake a championship away from that man right there. We head back out on track and a look at our points, or our lap time standings. John Ross with the fastest lap here of 32.46. Seth LaCroix through 32.47. And Joshua Edmonds rounding out the top three with 32.57. But we've been talking to some of these drivers, and this track has gone through major changes since the start of qualifying. And mentioning those changes, we will go ahead and talk about the weather real quick. The weather tonight, when the session started, was 81 degrees, partly cloudy. The track temperature is sitting at 86 degrees. And you look at the weather now, that temperature has dropped from 81 to 77 already. Sky conditions are still partly cloudy, but we did hear from the admins that they did the sim time is actually running at 4x speed. So this is going to the actual time in sim is moving a lot faster than it will during the day. So these changes are going to happen fast to the track here tonight. And as fast as it's moving, we may even get into tomorrow morning. So that sun might be peeking out at the end of this one, which for me, I don't think I've ever seen a I don't think I've ever broadcasted a league where the sun comes out at the end of the race. And we'll get a quick look at the rules here tonight as well. The rules, these drivers are given 6 sets of tires to complete this race, 65% fuel, and 0 quick repairs to get this one done. We will have stage breaks at lap 30 and 74 tonight. So with the pit window, it looks like everyone will be able to make it to the end of stage 1. But they will have to pit for fuel around 32 laps of green flag racing. So stage 2, they may not be able to make it to the end if it does go green flag conditions. And with that, qualifying has come to an end, so we're going to go ahead and see where these guys stack up. Currently looking at Connor Price coming out on track. Connor Price looking for a good lap. But Dawson Price looks like he's gotten his medicine. He's climbed back into that car, making his first lap here. We'll see where he stacks up. He makes his way through turns 3 and 4. You see him running about the middle line. They did mention at the top of this race, the top line was fastest, but that track's starting to get rubbered up, and the sun going down. The preferred line has moved down the racetrack as this night has gone on. But as fast as the time is moving, we might see that preferred line move back up to the top before this one is over. But times are in with the first lap. Bryce Fontaine, I think this is his first race in AERA, setting the time to beat with a 32.63, a tenth of a second faster than our championship points leader, Dawson Price. And look at Joshua Edmonds in that 17 machine. Looks like he has just completed his qualifying run, a 32.77, his best time. We'll see Dawson Price just in front of him. See if Dawson Price can lay down a faster lap his second go around. Dawson Price not getting the lap time he wanted on his second lap. Seth LaCroix just finishing up his qualifying run. Currently sitting second. We'll take a look at the 0-2 of Tristan Haynes. And you see Haynes there hugging that bottom. It looks like he's actually completed his qualifying run, sitting back there in 8th. Joseph Miller on track now. His second time in. Joseph Miller way off the pace, 33.37 for him. Nick Haynes also on track. And Nick Haynes running a throwback Lowe's paint scheme here. It looks like qualifying has come to an end, so we are going to head down trackside for our opening ceremonies presented by AERA Flyovers. At this time, please stand as you are able, remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the United States Marine Corps Band performs our national anthem. All right, and we are back, folks. The drivers are now making their way down to pit road, and we're going to go ahead and run through our official starting grid here. So we get that pulled up on screen for you. And our official qualifying results, starting in the pole position, will be the 67 of Bryce Fontaine. To his outside will be Seth LaCroix driving the number 88 machine. And third, we have John Ross driving the number 44. Starting fourth will be Dawson Price in the 24 machine. Joseph Truskowski will roll off fifth in the number 57. Joshua Edmonds will start to the outside of row 3 in sixth, driving the number 17. Seventh will be Jerry Ward in the number 89 machine. Tristan Haynes will roll off eighth, driving the 02 car. And ninth, we have Hunter Geyer driving the number 2. Connor Price will start 10th, driving the number 48. Omar Rodriguez Jr. will start 11th, driving the number 92. And 12th, we have David Joyner driving the number 85 machine. And starting 13th, we have Cooper Liardi driving the number 7. Joseph Miller will start to the outside of row 7, driving the number 16. And 15th, we have Nick Hames driving the number 31 machine. And Nick Hames will round out your field. Please ignore Race Beneke, number 35. He is our race control and will not be on track tonight, but he will be officiating tonight's race. So drivers now making their way on track for their parade lap. And the big storyline here tonight, that 24 of Dawson Price, he is not locked up that championship just yet. And we know there's going to be a lot of people pushing here. Josh Edmonds right behind him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Josh Edmonds, give him a little bumper action at the beginning of this one, trying to get him out of shape and maybe out of the race here to take that championship away from the 24 of Dawson Price. And look at the number 92 of Omar Rodriguez Jr. And we've got a little bit of trivia information for you on him. His house actually renders in the map for Homestead here, so he is close to that track. But the pace car is off, and we are underway. So they make their way down the front stretch. Seth LaCroix and Bryce Fontaine side by side. Looks like Bryce Fontaine getting a little bit of a run through the corner, but I think Seth's going to be able to power back here on the outside, getting the run down the back stretch. Side by side, and you see Seth LaCroix moving up to the top of the track here. We did mention how the track was going to go through changes, and LaCroix trying to figure out where he's going to find the most speed here tonight, but not going to be able to compete with Bryce. Now LaCroix trying to go to the bottom line. And that bottom line appears to be working for Seth LaCroix. He's able to get around Fontaine. Dawson Price still up there on the high line. And we know the Price brothers do like that high line. So we'll see if he can figure out something the rest of these drivers might not have. And it looks like Joshua Edmonds going to go and choose that high line as well. Edmonds, though, not really moving up here at the start of this one. But Tristan Haynes is on the move. He's to the inside of Joseph Truskowski, trying to take away sixth. And as they get settled in, it is time for a creative castle. Crank it up. All right, and a big thank you to Creative Castle for sponsoring our Crank It Up session. It looks like they've got it sorted out here, but John Ross in that 44 machine hanging tough there. He started third, trying to hang on to that position as Dawson Price has gotten to his outside. Price getting the run down the backstretch. We're not seeing anyone really drive it away through the first 7 laps here. We look at Hunter Geyer here. He's trying that inside line. Hasn't really been working for him here. He's still hanging there around 9th. David Joyner pressuring him from the outside. Joyner on the move up 3 positions from his start position. Looks like Geyer's going to be able to fend him off. Joyner, though, going to try a crossover move. Joyner now to the inside of Geyer, and he's got to run. Joyner going to get by Geyer there is Connor Price. You see him up there on that high side trying to make the high line work. Price is a big mover here as well, up 3 positions. He's all the way up there against the wall. And it looks like the field getting settled in single file here. As I say that, Joseph Truskowski just to the inside of Dawson Price. Dawson Price has a contender. Price already down 1 position. And the battle is on for second as well as Bryce Fontaine trying to hold off John Ross. John Ross showing speed through the beginning of this one. He's going to try that outside line now. So that battle for second continues. Seth LaCroix, got to be loving seeing this in his rear view mirror. Use those tires up, boys. Let me save a little bit, and I'll drive away at the end. As that battle for second continues, John Ross getting a nose out in front of Fontaine now. And Truskowski and Edmonds battling it out back here. Edmonds getting by Dawson Price. That's going to be big for him trying to get this championship. So Edmonds going to get by Truskowski. They get it worked out. We'll go back to the battle for second as these drivers still continuing. No one giving an inch here. Now 15 laps in, it looks like Omar Rodriguez Jr. may have had an issue jumping to the pits. Or back this up and try and see what happened. It looks like possibly just losing connection for Omar Rodriguez Jr. Trying to figure out what happened there. He might have had to go get Homestead Miami Speedway's Wi-Fi password to get back online and back into this one. And Danielle saying that the power went out for Omar Rodriguez Jr. Very unfortunate for him. Danielle, did y'all go ahead and plug into the Speedway's power? Sure, they have some backup generators. And look at our leader here. Now with a half-second lead. The battle between John Ross and Bryce Fontaine has finally come to an end. John Ross getting the better of Fontaine. As Dawson Price working to get his position back from Joseph Truskowski, and Connor Price and Hunter Geyer going to battle it out here. And Danielle, up in the chat, when you see your house rendered, can you just go ahead and let everyone know? I told Omar before the race that we were going to find his house tonight. And James Price entering the chat as well. James obviously cheering on Dawson and Connor here. Dawson Price currently sitting in 5th right now. Connor Price in 7th. With Joseph Truskowski stuck in the middle there. And we are coming down to just 12 laps left to go in this stage. And it has been all Seth LaCroix through the first stage, leading 18 laps here. And it looks like he might go flag to flag. And the battle is back on between Dawson Price and Joseph Truskowski. Price was trying that outside line. Truskowski able to capitalize, and here comes Hunter Geyer into the mix. And now Geyer going to clear Dawson Price, and Dawson is fading here. Connor Price now just one position behind his brother, and both the Price brothers giving up some positions here. There's Connor now battling it out with the 0-2 of Tristan Haynes. And we'll go ahead right along on the hood of Tristan Haynes' car here. And you can see him tapping that outside wall. Moving up to Josh Edmonds. Edmonds has been on the move here. I think I saw him trying that outside line. So Edmonds just trying to find what works for him, and we'll get another update on the weather here. We do want to keep an eye on that, and the track temperature still sitting at 77. Not sure how much more it's going to drop. But this the weather in the sim definitely moving fast here tonight. And we'll go back to the battle for 7th as Tristan Haynes trying to get to the inside of Connor Price. Haynes is there on that back bumper. He had a nose to the inside. Wasn't going to make the move yet. He'll go inside as they make their way through the corner. Connor Price staying all the way up against the wall. And James Price saying he is still pulling for Seth, Josh, and Omar here. tonight as well. James, I don't know if you could pull for Josh tonight. Josh is second in the point standings and racing for that championship. Currently up to fourth as Dawson Price sits in sixth. Edmonds has to get a move on if he wants to go ahead and get those stage points here. Now down to 5 to go. Seth LaCroix still leading in this one, but John Ross is coming up fast. And James said he wants to see Connor win the race and Dawson win the championship. That would be a great way to end the night and the season for you, James. So now LaCroix working his way around lap traffic. He's going to get by the lap traffic of Nick Hames there clean. John Ross to the inside of Hames now as he tries to track LaCroix down. 3 laps to go. And just a comparison of the last lap times of LaCroix and Ross. Ross was faster those last 2 times by. Now down to 2 to go in stage 1. As they cross the line, we wait for the new times to come in. LaCroix faster that time, but they did have that lap traffic to contend with. Now this is impressive. Only a couple hundredths of a second separating these guys. John Ross cutting Seth LaCroix's lead down by 2/10. And we've got to keep an eye on this because I think John Ross can definitely get to that back bumper of Seth LaCroix if he had just a few more laps as we come down to 1 to go in the stage. Ross faster that time by about 1/10 of a second. That gap down to just 2/10. And this is something to keep an eye on going into stage 2. Stage 2 is going to be 4 laps longer. And John Ross also not going to have, if they were to restart in this position as the stage comes to an end, Seth LaCroix winning the stage. So depending on pit stops, if John Ross has to restart second, he's not going to have to pass anyone to get to Seth LaCroix as that yellow flag flies. As they get set up, we will step aside for a quick commercial break.
Do you love Orlando's theme parks, but the long lines have you losing the magic? Introducing Ride Waits, the Apple Watch app designed to help you skip the stress and ride more, with real-time wait times and park info right on your wrist. Whether you're exploring Walt Disney World, adventuring through Universal Orlando, or taking it all in at SeaWorld, Ride Waits helps you navigate smarter and get the most out of your visit. No more wandering, no more guessing, just more riding. And it's not just wait times. Ride Waits also offers tips on the best times to ride, general park info, and helpful alerts so you never miss out on your favorite attraction. Whether you're planning ahead or making game day decisions in the park, Ride Waits keeps everything you need at a quick glance away. Ride Waits, your wrist-side guide to the best parks in Orlando. Available now on the Apple Watch store.
Not affiliated with or endorsed by any theme park brand.
All right, and we are back, folks, just in time for pit stops as Seth LaCroix leads them down pit road. It appears Nick Hames might have had an issue getting on a pit road here. So not sure what happened to that 31 of Nick Hames, but definitely looks like he had an issue. So Hames appears he's a little bit slow there. It looked like Joseph Miller was faster, but I think Hames tried to pull a fake there. So now Hames going to bring it down pit road as Seth LaCroix has won the race off of pit road. James asking what happened to David Joyner, and I'm actually not sure what happened to David Joyner. We didn't catch any incidents for him here. Right now, the only incident we are showing on our scoreboard is Nick Hames, where it looked like he tried to pull a fake or just didn't get the car all the way down and got on two different grooves and spun it up towards the outside wall. But David Joyner, it just looks like Homestead just might not be his track. He is looking at his best time, 32.78, which matches just about everyone else. But Joyner, if you look here at the positions gained, Joyner with a big fat goose egg, he started 12th and is going to restart 12th. So it looks like Homestead is just not David Joyner's track. I do have an update. Joseph Miller currently sitting on pit road serving a black flag penalty. It looks like Joseph Miller, possibly an unsafe pit entrance or a speeding on pit road penalty. And as we were watching this, the green flag is back out. Seth LaCroix led them to the green flag. He gets the jump. Bryce Fontaine getting inside of John Ross now. The battle is on for second. Bryce was very fast at the beginning of the run, but it appears that he really has the short run speed. Not sure how he's going to do in the long run. But Fontaine getting the better of John Ross. And the battle's on for the lead as Fontaine to the outside of LaCroix. LaCroix going to hold him off for now. It's Connor Price. So Connor Price out of line, but we do have a battle between Joshua Edmonds and Dawson Price at the moment. Dawson Price trying that high line, and we haven't seen very much success on that high line. Josh Edmonds up to fourth now. And James saying it did show that David Joyner was a lap down, but pitted a lap or so later. I think Joyner could probably make it to the end of stage 2 on fuel. That pit window sitting at 32 to 33 laps here. Battle now on behind Dawson Price as his brother Connor and Joseph Truskowski battling it out. Truskowski trying to stay out in front of Connor Price. Now Truskowski going to go ahead and settle in. Truskowski getting around Connor now, and he's going to go to work on Dawson Price. Dawson Price still trying that high line. Right along with the in-car view of Dawson Price right now. We'll switch over to Joseph Truskowski and see what he's seeing. Truskowski sending it in hard there to get back to the inside of Dawson. He is there. We'll see what Truskowski can do with it. The battle continues, and just behind him, Tristan Haynes getting to the inside of Connor Price as well. Haynes is there. Hunter Geyer bringing up the rear of Haynes as well. Connor Price going to get the run off of turn 4, though, and put an end to that battle. It looks like Dawson Price has put an end to the battle between him and Joseph Truskowski. Truskowski now going to try that line all the way up against the wall. We go back to the front. Seth LaCroix has pulled away from the field here, a 6/10 of a second lead, but all eyes are on Bryce Fontaine and John Ross right now. Ross catching back up to Fontaine. And we'll see what they can do. And no one loves seeing this more than Joshua Edmonds right here. He needs a good stage finishes to stay in the running here as we ride along on the hood of his car. Edmonds trying that high line. And it does look like Edmonds is closing in here a little bit. Lap time is just about equal for Edmonds and Ross, though. Oh, and that was a hard hit to the wall. I think that was Connor Price making hard contact with that outside wall off of 2. There's Haynes and Hunter Geyer. It looks like Hunter Geyer's had an issue here as well. He's now being scored in 15th, 11 laps down. I'm not sure what caused the issue for Hunter Geyer, not seeing anything with that car. So no issues on the scoring chart for Hunter Geyer, but definitely something happened there to put him that far down. But still showing speed for that 2 car. I think he might have had an internet connection issue or possibly a power issue as well. When we take a look at Connor Price here. Still trying that outside line. Back up front, these two still racing for second. Bryce Fontaine holding on to it, but John Ross, you see him pulling up that bumper. He's creeping up ever so slightly. And I think we're going to see a dogfight here in just a lap or two as John Ross really showing that speed. And the longer this run goes on, that's where John Ross really starts to improve as the run goes on. It looks like Bryce Fontaine trying to do a better job of saving his tires here. Ross getting to the inside of Fontaine. He's got a nose in there. Not going to be able to complete the pass. We should see Fontaine getting the run down the backstretch. We do. John Ross going to tuck in behind him. And John Ross, he has to time that just perfectly to be able to get by Bryce Fontaine, or at least get alongside of him. He needs to make his move just like that as they get to the inside of the corner. Now they are side by side. Not quite enough there for them that time. John Ross not giving up though. Bryce Fontaine all the way up against the wall. Fontaine's got to be careful not to hit the wall here. As they continue to battle it out. Now 20 laps left to go here in stage 2. And it's still been all Seth LaCroix. But now John Ross going to have about 14 more laps to work with to try and get a pass on LaCroix. In an update, Omar Rodriguez Jr. on pit road. So not sure what's going on there with Rodriguez. He was 2 laps down at the start of the stage. He's going to fall another lap down with that early pit stop. But with that power outage, he did go back. He did end up going back to pit road, so possibly he got some service there and ended up on a different pit strategy and trying to make the most of it right now. But Rodriguez Jr. will be the lucky dog when we get the next stage break. And James Price saying that John Ross need to clear Bryce Fontaine by the middle of the corner so he can do a slide job. And that looks like exactly what John Ross did. We'll see what happened here. I'll go back to look at this pass yet again. It looked like Fontaine just did not get the run he wanted through the corner there. So now John Ross will try and track down Seth LaCroix. About a second, or I'm sorry, about a half a second separating the two. About 16 laps left in the stage. We'll see what John Ross can do with that extra time. We'll keep an eye on the lap times here, and it looks like Ross was gaining some ground on Seth LaCroix. LaCroix got to pick that pace back up. And James giving us the insight that it sounds like Omar Rodriguez Jr. can make it to the end with just one more stop here. But Rodriguez Jr. going to have a tall hill to climb, sitting 3 laps down right now to be able to be competitive at the end of this one. And we are going to go ahead and check in with the Price brothers, currently running P5 and P6. Dawson Price is settled in behind Josh Edmonds, but Hunter Geyer, and again, still not sure what exactly happened with Hunter Geyer to put him 11 laps down, but he has definitely found some speed out there. Just too little too late for Hunter Geyer. Those issues pretty much tanking any chance he had at being competitive in this one. And we'll go ahead and move towards the rear of the field, checking in with Cooper Liardi and Jerry Ward as they try and make their way around Joseph Truskowski. Truskowski falling to 8th here. And James saying Seth is on a mission. And I think Seth's pretty much on a mission every week, and he's letting his dominance show through here. He is out of the running for the championship and coming home 4th in the point standings. But he is determined to prove that he belongs here in this championship race. Oh, Jerry Ward making his way around Joseph Truskowski, and it looks like Truskowski caught a big piece of the wall there. And checking in with our 3rd place runner, David Joyner, on the points, and it looks like he's going to have to pull it down pit road here. So we go back to the front of the field. John Ross has tracked down Seth LaCroix. Now we're going to get to see what he's going to do with it. So now down to 10 to go. All eyes on John Ross as we ride along with him to see what he's going to do to get by that 88 of Seth LaCroix. And yes, he is, James. Ross has closed that gap up. Seth LaCroix, though, turning it back on here. I think Seth LaCroix's got a little bit in reserve here. One place Seth really tends to excel is saving tires. Now down to 8 to go. And oh, we've got trouble back in the pack. Looks like David Joyner's around. So the yellow flag is going to wave. And not sure what happened there to David Joyner. Oh, there he is, getting loose. So Nick Hames just barely avoiding that. So that's going to change everything. Is Seth LaCroix going to lead the field down pit road here? Looks like pretty much everyone going to come down pit road with the exception of Joshua Edmonds. He wants that bonus point for leading the lap. And an update, Nick Hames did get the lucky dog that time. So Nick Hames fell a lap down, and that is going to, I think that's going to be the final nail in Omar Rodriguez Jr.'s coffin here tonight. I don't think he's going to be able to get back into this one. Now David Joyner also being shown a lap down. So our second caution of the night flies on lap 64. And we're going to go ahead and step aside for another quick commercial break. And we are back, folks. They are doubled up, getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Currently 12 cars left on the lead lap. Oh, and it appears that I have spoken too soon on Omar Rodriguez Jr. It looks like the admins have come together, and due to the power outage and it being no fault of Omar Rodriguez, they are going to give him his laps back and allow him to get back into this one. So good for Omar Rodriguez Jr. He is back in this, and he can be competitive here as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Joshua Edmonds, your leader. Bryce Fontaine in second. Seth LaCroix in third. John Ross in fourth. Dawson Price rounding out your top five. And the green flag's back out. And you saw Josh Edmonds. He spun his tires there. Fontaine's in the outside wall. A hard hit to the outside wall for Bryce Fontaine. We will stay green. 4-lap shootout to the stage break. Edmonds is leading. LaCroix all the way up against the wall. Edmonds going to be on those old tires. He's got 30-lap older tires than the rest of the field, but holding strong. He's trying to dirty up that air, not let Seth LaCroix around, as LaCroix is going to jump to the bottom. And Now Edmonds going to have to give up that position. And I do believe that the drivers thought it was going to be a lap shorter. So maybe Edmonds, a miscalculation on how many laps were going to be left in the stage. So we're down to 3 to go, and Edmonds is falling fast. He's going to fall behind Dawson Price, and the points that he did make up in stage 1, looks like Price will be able to make those right back up here in stage 2. So now down to 2 to go. Seth LaCroix, your leader. John Ross, though, right back up there with them. And one more lap to go in this one. Ross taking that high line, trying to build up the speed as they come down the backstretch. He lost a lot of ground on Seth with that move, though. And look out, because Josh Edmonds battling with Connor Price back here. As they come off the corner, LaCroix going to take the stage win. Connor Price going to just beat out Joshua Edmonds for 4th. And the yellow will wave, and we will set it up for our final stage. But real quick, I do want to go ahead and take a look at this with Josh Edmonds when that green flag came out. You saw he got loose there, and it looked like LaCroix getting up into Bryce Fontaine. We'll go ahead and ride along with LaCroix through that. On the nose cam, you saw Edmonds, he just spun his tires there. The trouble with old tires. And LaCroix gets into Fontaine and just lifts that left rear up off the track, and Fontaine loses all of his grip with it. As they go ahead and pace, we will step aside for another quick commercial break.
From the track to the tech, Creative Castle keeps your code running as clean as your laps. We test real-world devices and digital platforms so your next release won't crash in turn 1. At Creative Castle, we elevate your software with expert quality assurance and cross-platform testing. Whether it's native apps or networked hardware, we deliver precision-tested performance at scale. Behind every smooth app and smart device is a quiet castle. Creative Castle. We're the quality wizards and test knights who battle bugs and break bad code before it breaks your product. Creative Castle. Quality at full throttle. Your quest for quality ends here. It's race day on iRacing. The grid is set. Engines are rumbling. The chat is buzzing. The anticipation is building. But before the green flag waves, you need a moment that gets hearts racing. AERA Flyovers delivers cinematic, custom airplane flyovers for your iRacing or esports event, bringing real-world energy to your virtual track. Add a patriotic punch to your pre-race show. Whether you're hosting a league championship, a memorial race, or just want to hype the crowd, AERA brings the thunder. Fully customizable, easy to book, stream ready, guaranteed to get your drivers and fans fired up. Because when the jets fly, everyone pays attention. Stand tall, fly loud, race proud. AERA! Visit AERA Flyovers on Discord or Facebook and bring the flyover experience to iRacing like never before.
All right, and we are back, folks, and some shakeups here up front. Seth LaCroix still our leader. He does not come down pit road at the stage break. Neither does Connor Price, Tristan Haynes, Jerry Ward, or Joseph Miller. From John Ross on back, though, they will be on fresh tires, even if it is only about 4 green flag laps. So the standings now, Seth LaCroix still our leader, Connor Price in second, Tristan Haynes in third, Jerry Ward in fourth, Joseph Miller in fifth, John Ross restarting sixth, Joseph Truskowski in seventh, Dawson Price will restart eighth, Josh Edmonds in ninth, and Omar Rodriguez Jr. rounding out the top 10. That pace car is off, and we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. LaCroix leading him to the green flag. Green flag is out. We are back underway, folks. LaCroix jumping out to a lead here early. Tristan Haynes, Connor Price battling out for second. Price showing the speed out there on that outside line. And LaCroix not going to clear Connor Price quite yet. Look, Price has the advantage going down the backstretch. Now LaCroix going to clear Connor Price. We do have an update to Cooper Liardi on pit road, and it looks like he may have had an issue there. Now Tristan Haynes got to battle with Connor Price for second. And Tristan Haynes going to get by Connor Price. First time we've seen Tristan Haynes here in the top 3. He's moved up to second now. And it looks like that pit strategy paying off for the O2 for the time being. Joseph Miller falling back to 5th here. And Jerry Ward, the other car on old tires, he has dropped back to 8th. So Joseph Truskowski, first car on fresh tires, now up to 4th and pressuring Connor Price. Truskowski continuing that battle, but here comes Joshua Edmonds into the mix here as well. Edmonds to the inside of Truskowski. Edmonds looking like the faster car. As they go 3 wide, John Ross in the mix here as well. And Connor Price has got his hands full on those old tires. He tries to hold on. Tristan Haynes looking in his rearview mirror, loving seeing this. Edmonds and Truskowski going to have to put some more wear and heat into those tires, trying to get by Connor Price. Connor Price still showing speed, just not able to compete with these guys on those fresh tires. But he has made that car about 5 lanes wide. And Bryce Fontaine up there in the YouTube chat. GG's, Bryce. We're sorry that you got caught up in that incident on the outside, but it does look like your night is done. As Edmonds now to the inside of Connor Price. And Edmonds going up to the top line. That looked a little bit close for Connor Price. Connor Price now caught in the middle of Edmonds and Ross. So Connor Price going to give up the positions to John Ross and Joseph Truskowski, as well as Josh Edmonds. Price now back to 6. Edmonds back into the top 3 here. And Bryce Fontaine dealing with 7 minutes of damage, and has no skin in the game for the championship and didn't feel like putting around. So, actually, Bryce, are you still in the Discord, man? We can get a interview with you real quick if you hop back in. So Seth LaCroix still our leader. Tristan Haynes running second. He's got about a half a second gap over Joshua Edmonds, trying to hold on to that. Now John Ross to the inside of Edmonds. As these two battled out, that's going to leave that door open for Tristan Haynes, who's just cruising around, chasing Seth LaCroix. And he's in a position where he can save tires, as Edmonds and Ross are not going to get the line they want, per se. The battle continues. They are gaining just a little bit on Tristan Haynes here. Back in the pack, Joseph Miller is tracking down Omar Rodriguez Jr. Rodriguez Jr., since he got back into this one after getting his laps back for that power failure, showing some speed, though. He's up to 7th and up 4 points and contending with Connor Price right now. Yeah, update, Cooper Liardi just coming off of pit road here. Liardi getting back into this one after getting some damage repaired. And James saying if it was him, if he was 5th or further on back, he would short pit with about 40 to 35 laps left to go. James, I think that's a very good call, especially I'm looking at these guys in the back here. Those guys on the older tires, they've definitely fallen. John Ross has made his way by Tristan Haynes here. Haynes getting ready to fall victim to Joshua Edmonds too. John Ross trying to track down Seth LaCroix, and now I think these guys, their cars are going to handle about evenly. John Ross going to have dirty air, fresher tires. Seth LaCroix with clean air, but older tires. That pit strategy at the stage break could mean the difference in this one. So we go back to look at Josh Edmonds, still trying to find a way around Tristan Haynes. An update on Dawson Price, not seeing him up front. He's currently sitting back there in 9th. So something not going his way here tonight. Oh, caution is out. Tristan Haynes caught up in this. And you can see it. He's heavily damaged to that right side or left side there. Just struggling to get that thing back on pit road. We'll go back, take a look, and see what happened. Oh, and it looked like Joshua Edmonds just getting into the back of him there. Sends him around. Get another look at it here. Yep, and that contact from Joshua Edmonds just turns Tristan Haynes right into that outside wall. I tell you what, Haynes not going to be happy with that. So an update, Haynes has already left the session. He's also out of Discord. Definitely not going to be happy for Tristan Haynes, but pit stops are underway. Seth LaCroix leading him down pit road. And I tell you what, that caution is the last thing this man right here, John Ross, wanted to see. He had the tire advantage on Seth LaCroix, was closing in fast. So now, John Ross, that the tire game has been made equal now between him and Seth LaCroix. So LaCroix has the advantage of controlling the restart. And, you know, typically if you control the restart, you're going to get that lead position. So LaCroix is going to have the advantage of clean air the rest of this race. And with that, the pit strategy is out the window. Now lap 97. We're going to go ahead and try and talk to Josh Edmonds here and see what happened there with that caution. Josh, it's Austin up the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man. So we're just finished watching that replay with you and Tristan Haynes. What happened from your point of view there?
You know, I had a big run going into that corner, and I just didn't expect him to kind of check up the way he did. And I think as he checked up, he got a little loose. It looked like the back end, and I you know, just didn't slow it up enough. I thought he would carry a little bit more speed going down in there like that, but.
All right, and I got to add. Go ahead.
I didn't do it to hurt him, but.
All right, and I do have to ask real quick though, you know, because we see that he has already left the session. We, as well as the Discord, kind of reminds me of the 2020 iRacing with Bubba Wallace leaving the session after getting wrecked. Was anything said in the racing chat?
No, I didn't hear anything. I'll DM him and apologize. It wasn't intentional, but.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you get back down to the race. It looks like it's about to get back underway.
All right, man.
Thank you. All right, once again, that was Joshua Edmonds. His thoughts on what happened there. But the pace car is off, and we are back underway. LaCroix getting the jump. Joseph Truskowski going with him. Truskowski was ready. And Truskowski going to shut the door on John Ross real quick. So Truskowski moving to second. And he is going to try and track down Seth LaCroix. Seth LaCroix with a 0.3 of a second gap over Joseph Truskowski for the time being. And somewhere, I know Lee LaCroix is groaning at the fact that Joseph Truskowski and Seth LaCroix have the potential to get tangled up again. Now down to 36 laps left in this one. And I do believe everyone will be good to go on fuel here. We're going to keep an eye here on John Ross and Joseph Truskowski. Ross has been faster than Truskowski all night, but Truskowski not known for cutting anyone any slack. You saw him there. Definitely some aero blocking on John Ross. Connor Price getting by Ross now. So Truskowski hanging on to second. Connor Price holding on to third. Josh Edmonds and Omar Rodriguez Jr. were battling out, but David Joyner back into the mix now. Joyner back on the lead lap here. So Edmonds and Joyner are going to battle it out. These two, they're really battling it out for second. It looks like, although Dawson Price sitting back there in eighth, but and this is just quick math here, folks, so I am not 100% sure, but I do believe at this point with these stage points, Dawson Price has locked up the race or the season championship with the, looks like we've got a couple drivers out already. So the battle is for second in the standings. And this is the battle right here. Josh Edmonds and David Joyner. Edmonds definitely has opened up that gap, though. Edmonds trying that top line. And one thing I did notice during that contact with Tristan Haynes with Josh Edmonds, it did appear that Edmonds' car might have been slightly damaged. The front of that car possibly with some damage from that contact. And going back up to the front here, we've got a jumble. Connor Price has moved to second. Joseph Truskowski drops to third. Now Connor Price moving up the track, and we're going to have to go back and take a look at that replay because it did look like John Ross was battling with Truskowski, and Connor Price she got the better of both of them. We'll go back and take a look here. Connor Price on the inside. And they just ended up 3 wide, so I don't think we missed anything, really. It was just Connor Price with an excellent run. As the battle continues up front. For a second, John Ross thought he had Connor Price cleared. You saw him move it up. And then had to cut that wheel right back down to avoid coming across the nose of Connor Price. And James Price telling his boys it is time to drop the hammer. I tell you what, it definitely looks like Connor Price has put his foot to that floor, and he is not lifting until he sees this checkered flag or Jesus. The strongest Connor Price has looked all night. However, Dawson Price sitting back here in mid-pack racing for 8th right now. And he is caught behind David Joyner and Hunter Geyer. Geyer multiple laps down here. We're going to take a look here All right, the weather once again. The temperature is definitely evened out at 77 degrees, so it looks like the track is done cooling off here. So not seeing too many big changes, and just to look at the recap, only 2 lead changes in this one. Seth LaCroix has been utterly dominant as this race has gone on. So John Ross now pulling away from the pack. Omar Rodriguez Jr., I bet some of those admins probably kicking themselves for letting him get his laps back for the internet or the power issues he had. But Omar Rodriguez Jr. in the top 3 for the first time tonight. Now down to 25 to go in this one. Checking in with Josh Edmonds as he's getting ready to put that pressure on Joseph Truskowski. Edmonds has cleared Joyner and pulled away here. About a half a second separating those two. And Edmonds, he had a run on Truskowski, but didn't want to pull down in front of Hunter Geyer. That is lap traffic there. Looks like just slightly affecting Josh Edmonds. He's going to get Truskowski as they go through turns 3 and 4, though. Truskowski looking to try a crossover move. So it looks like the battle is over for now. Truskowski trying to find a way back around Josh Edmonds, but Edmonds a little bit better in the long run than Joseph Truskowski. I don't know if Truskowski is going to have anything for Edmonds here. Oh, and it looked like Connor Price getting loose off the corner there as he exits turn 2, and that's going to open up that door for Joshua Edmonds. And now we're starting to see everyone starting to migrate to the top of that track. Price, Edmonds, and Truskowski all trying the top. Truskowski going to move to the inside, trying to get back around Hunter Geyer. So we are down to 20 laps left in this one. Keeping an eye on the battle for 4th right now with Josh Edmonds and Connor Price. Connor doing his best to stay up front, but I think he's used up his equipment. As Edmonds closes in, he's to the inside. We'll go back to the front. John Ross catching back up to Seth LaCroix here. 0.3 of a second separated him. 19 laps to go. Ross has, look, it'll be 18 laps left to do something now that he's caught Seth LaCroix. And it looks like John Ross not going to be able to do anything quite yet. Is Josh Edmonds backing off the back bumper of Connor Price. So Connor Price possibly finding a little something extra in that car as he's closed back up with Omar Rodriguez Jr. Down to 16 to go. John Ross not gaining any ground on Seth LaCroix. And just to look at the track map here, there are 2 lap cars coming up in front of the leaders. That is going to dirty up that air in front of Seth LaCroix and even the playing grounds for these two. When they do get around them, there's still 15 laps left, and it looks like they will be able to catch that lap traffic. We'll take a look from the gyro cam in John Ross's car. And you can see that lap traffic coming up quickly. James, it looks I'm thinking that you're reading my mind. That's the second time tonight. You suggested something. You are on a delay, but I was already going right to it. Me and James on the same wavelength tonight. So that lap traffic is there, and they are side by side right now. This is going to get interesting. They're both going to drop to the bottom now. LaCroix to the outside. John Ross going to try and shoot the gap through the middle. So LaCroix going to get caught behind Cooper Liardi. Now LaCroix is clearing Liardi. John Ross, not sure. There he goes clearing Liardi, but I think that was John Ross's opportunity to get by Seth LaCroix, and he missed it. He got alongside him, but was not able to complete the pass as we are down to 12 laps left in this one. Just a look at the track map here. No traffic out in front of them. LaCroix is going to have the advantage of clean air for the rest of the race. And back in the pack, looks like Connor Price has caught Omar Rodriguez Jr. Rodriguez Jr. caught behind the lap traffic of Cooper Liardi. Rodriguez going to use that lap traffic like a pick, and looks like he's going to open that gap back up. But that gap has closed up between Ross and LaCroix as we come down to 9 laps left in this one. So Ross is there, 1/10 of a second between the two. LaCroix doing some blocking. You saw John Ross trying to go to the inside of LaCroix. So some blocking from LaCroix going to kill the momentum John Ross had. So it'll be 7 to go this time by. And you can see it there. John Ross trying to get to that inside of Seth LaCroix, and LaCroix following him right down there. Ross could be baiting LaCroix, though, for a last lap move. Right along on the hood of John Ross's car here. Down to 6 laps left in this one. And looking back in the pack, Connor Price. Oh, Connor Price in that outside wall. Connor Price trying to save it. Whoo! Connor might need a change of underpants after that one. He almost nailed the pit wall there. He was loose. An excellent save by Connor Price after that contact with the outside wall. And it looks like he is only going to give up one position to Joshua Edmonds. We come down to 3 laps left to go. This battle for the lead still ongoing. Seth LaCroix with the advantage of the clean air. 0.2 of a second separating these drivers, about a car length. John Ross about a lane higher than Seth LaCroix, trying to find something that Seth LaCroix hasn't. That was not the move. It appears as LaCroix opens up that gap there. 2 to go in this one. John Ross now poking that nose to the inside. That gap is closed back up. So they make their way off of turn 4. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. And back in the pack, Cooper Liardi has had an incident, but it looks like we're going to stay green. Liardi jumping to the pits, so the racing surface is clear. As Seth LaCroix looks like he is going to hold off John Ross. John Ross sent it too hard. LaCroix going to win the season finale here at Homestead. John Ross coming home second. Omar Rodriguez Jr. in third. And we have crowned a champion as Dawson Price going across the line here in 7th. And they do wreck coming to the line. Oh, Joseph Miller going to hit the champion. So first we're going to go back, take a look, and see what happened to Cooper Liardi. It looks like he's just slow down there at the bottom. I think he might have just had enough. not his night. So he slows there. And it looks like we've got some bumper cars. Joseph Miller maybe not happy with the way Hunter Geyer raced him, especially Geyer being 11 laps down in this one. And we're going to go back. Seth LaCroix burning it down. And it looks like Connor Price out there too. Dawson Price celebrating his win. Or his championship. Had a lot of burnouts. I think everyone just wanting to celebrate a successful first season here in AERA. But no one more excited than that man right there, Dawson Price. And we are still waiting for John Ross to make his way to the waiting room. But we are going to go ahead and kick off our interviews as Dawson continues his celebration there. And we'll kick it off with Omar Rodriguez Jr. And Omar, it's Austin up in the booth. You got me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, man. Congratulations on a top 3 finish. And, man, that seemed like a tough hill to climb there. Danielle up in the chat letting us know that your guys' power went out.
Yep, that was indeed the case. Luckily enough, we do give laps back for losing position due to power outages. Yeah, man, it feels pretty good to, score a podium at my home track. Feels pretty damn good.
All right, yeah, gotta feel good. Maybe, unfortunately, that power definitely going to set you back. Could have possibly scored a win here. You were definitely fast. Now, just how close to home is this track?
Oh, geez. I mean, my track is on the actual iRacing map if you go north far enough. I have to drive by the track whenever I go visit my parents. So, yeah, pretty damn close to home.
All right. Well, we've been joking about that all night. It seemed like we're gonna try and find your house here. I tell you what. I hope we do come back here next season because I promise I will find your house and we will have your house up on the broadcast, buddy.
just fly a drone outside, live camera shot of my house.
Yep. So, did you run over and run an extension cord over to the one of the track's generators that I know they have to have?
No, man, I should have. Probably would have let me at least contend for the win.
Yeah, let the track officials know. Hey, I'm racing this track on iRacing right now, and it's broadcasted on the Rebel Racing Network. Go check them out. I really need this power, guys.
So, man, it was just unfortunate. I didn't qualify particularly well, but I feel like once I got into the pack, I had decent speed in the dirty air there.
Yeah, and how was it racing through the rest of the pack, because you had to start from the rear and make your way through all of the trouble there. What was it like racing back through the pack after that?
I mean, the car just felt super tight all the time. Normally the top is my my preferred line here, but I feel like on the top the car would get even more unstable. And so I resorted to running the bottom line, and I feel like I could save a bit of tire, but I kept overdriving the entry, I think, and I would overdrive the entry, and then my mid corner speed would be too high, and I just kept degrading my right front, and that cost me big time because I didn't save as well as Seth and John did, and I could not contend for the win.
All right. Well, still top 3 after the troubles at the beginning of this one. Definitely something to be proud of. We are going to let you get on out of here. Before we do, though, anyone you want to thank?
Gotta shout out my girlfriend for, supporting me in the chat, supporting me at home. All the good nights and the bad nights. I really thought I was in for a bad night tonight, but having my rock here helps me gather myself and pull through for good finish. Got to shout out Dawson for winning the championship here tonight. Got to shout out Seth for winning the race. Great teammates, and it's good to see the team have some success. The rest of the admin team for putting this on every week, and having really good races every week. I feel like, and you for putting on a broadcast for all our fans at home.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, buddy. And I tell you what, I do have to shout out your girlfriend, Danielle, as well for keeping us clued into what was happening up in the chat. We really do appreciate that here at the Rebel Racing Network. So, big shout out to her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you. We'll let you get on out of here. Have a good night, buddy.
You too, man.
Thank you. You too. All right, and once again, that was Omar Rodriguez Jr. coming home third tonight. We're going to move on to our second place finisher, John Ross. John, it's Austin up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Austin.
All right, man. Congratulations on a second place finish here tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was a good race. It's always fun here at Homestead, trying to save some tire. We had some long green flag runs, so good to put some laps in with the guys again. So yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, definitely put on a great show, and we were glued to you. It seemed like the better part of this race, trying to track down Seth LaCroix. You were able to get to that back bumper. It seemed like at the end of every stage and the end of the race. What was what held you back from being able to get around him?
Well, so a few things. One, that Dirty Air is terrible here. Even in the next gen car, I just think overall Dirty Air is really bad. And this track is good mid to high line. So if you can take the air off of somebody getting into the turn, pinch them down a little bit, they just don't get a good run off. So Seth was really accurate. He was really hitting his marks well. And this is my first race back. I wasn't going to push anything, and I know that Seth was running for a championship, so I got ourselves in a comfortable spot. And if he made a mistake, I was going to jump on it, but I wasn't going to push anything.
All right. Well, and that leads me to my next question. So you guys did have lap traffic come up in front of you. And it seemed like the lap traffic were battling amongst themselves, and then kind of set a pick for you guys, you and Seth both, and you were able to get alongside of him. Did you think that was an opportunity for you to get by Seth?
I was just kind of hunting for clean air. I knew Seth had the top there, and so I didn't want to go in right behind him. I have not run the top very much here all night, so I didn't want to maybe mistime it and get into the wall. So I was just kind of hunting clean air, and Seth took a pretty soft entry, and that's where I was able to get beside of him. But, I was watching the car below me, the lap traffic, because I just wanted to make sure if he was going to wash up, I was just going to bail out of that scenario. So I don't think I would have really pushed hard to try to pass him there. But again, if he was going to touch the wall, I would have took it.
All right. Well, unfortunately for you, he did not. We are going to let you get on out of here. Before we do, though, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, just my teammates over there at Elevated, and Dawson and Seth for putting on this league. And I know they're going to come up and talk about it. I believe they finished 1 and 2 in the points, so congratulations to them as well. And then always you here at Rebel Racing for broadcasting. Certainly appreciate that.
All right. We appreciate it, buddy. And we will see you back here next season. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. All right, folks. And once again, that was John Ross coming home P2 tonight. And, I guess the cat is out of the bag. We have come to an agreement here at Rebel Racing Network and AERA. We will be right back here on the Rebel Racing Network for Season 2 of AERA. Dates to be determined, but make sure you guys like and follow on Facebook so you can stay updated on that, guys. But we got to move on to our race winner, Seth LaCroix. Seth, it is Austin up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
All right, man. Congratulations on dominating this entire race.
Appreciate it.
So, what was the key to your victory here? We were watching you and John Ross. It seemed like the end of every stage, battling it out.
Yeah.
Definitely, clean air was a factor. Was there anything else that played into this victory?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how he was just that little bit faster. Clean air definitely saved my ass for sure. He got alongside me twice, I think, the whole race, but those lap cars almost cost me. But the thing was, is like I was trying to save, like he'd fall back a little bit. I'd go in save mode, and he's reeling me in save mode, and I'm like, okay, time to go, and then we would just be stuck, and he would just incrementally close in little by little, and I mean, I was right on the edge of spinning out. And a couple of times, I was like, "Let me try to find speed here, a different way," and I would just about blow it. And so I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna hit my marks, and whatever happens, happens." And happy to come away with the win.
Well, you definitely came away with a win, and yeah, that lap traffic did get perilous. And I got to ask you one other thing. We touched on it at the beginning of the show. We were aware that the time was set to 4 times speed tonight.
Yeah.
And we made a joke, like we might, this might be the first race where we see the sunrise, and we go from dark to light. And looking at the sky right now, that sun is on its way up. Do you think that would have, that could have changed the race if maybe we got a couple more cautions?
That would have been wild because the track was so different with the sun up. It was so fun to drive. If the sun had stayed up, the high line would have been a lot more viable for sure. But once it went down, and I think the race ended at like 3 a.m. or something like that. I don't know. It was definitely a mistake on Dawson's part, but it was pretty interesting.
I tell you what, it definitely made it interesting going from practice to qualifying a race in this. And, just out of curiosity, I did just check the weather yet again. We had it pulled up on screen. The air temperature is still the same, 77 degrees. So you probably would have had a little bit more time, even if there were a couple more cautions in this one. So, but we do have to get on to the man of the hour, Dawson Price.
Oh, that's rough.
I know how bad you wanted it, but there's always season 2, which we're excited to bring you here on the Rebel Racing Network. But we're gonna let you get on out of here. Before we do, though, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, thank you for broadcasting the season. My parents for watching the whole season. Sorry, I melted like a bowl of ice cream on a summer day in the playoffs. Glad I got to get the taste out of my mouth with this one, but I look forward to season 2. Couldn't start any quicker, but congratulations to Dawson. He was super, super consistent all season. Top 3 pretty much everywhere. So congratulations to Dawson. Very deserving winner. We'll get him next year.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, buddy, and we will see you back here next season.
See ya.
See ya. All right, and once again, that was Seth LaCroix coming home first tonight. But we are going to move on to the big winner of tonight. Even though he did not get the finish he wanted, he came home in 7th. But he is our league champion for season 1. Dawson, it is Austin up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, man. Congratulations on the series championship. How does it feel, buddy?
Thank you, man. It's crazy. Doesn't feel too real. Definitely did not expect everything to work out like this, and then kind of have a race tonight where I didn't have to perform. It's just wild. Like, part of me is like, oh my gosh, like I'm like one of the owners or the people that run the league, and I'm about to win it. But it's just crazy. Definitely kind of surprised, but it's also like finally, like with the first win this season in the Cup car, and then just kind of everything working out all the way until last week. and just get enough points and everything, and then yeah, again, super glad I was able to hang back at the back tonight and just kind of bring it home, because I don't know what it is. I've been running a fever for a while, so it was really nice.
All right, and we did touch on that at the beginning of the show. So we were watching your positions throughout the race, and it seemed like you were top 5 for the entire first half, and then the second half you were hanging out around 7th and 8th. Was it getting a little bit hard to drive out there with the fever?
Yeah, like, you know, having the fever and it's in and out. Towards the beginning, I was like, I'm pretty good. I'm all right. I think I can hang up here pretty good. And then the sweats start happening, and I'm like, oh man, I just gotta drive the car, not hit anything, not hit anybody, and keep her going.
All right. Well, it definitely paid off. Maybe not the finish you wanted, but league championship is a big deal. So we are going to let you get on out of here, and I would say start the celebration, but it sounds like you're headed right to bed after this,
Yeah.
or maybe take some medicine. Before we let you go, though, anyone you want to shout out?
I want to shout out to everyone that's been part of the league. We've had a great season 1. For all the drivers, all the admins, my teammates at Apex, and the teammates on the sister team, Redline, for showing up and ripping around the track, doing real good this season. Shout out to you for broadcasting. And shout out to Dubby, as always, supporting. Didn't have them all over the car tonight, but they've been a partner lately, and I appreciate that. And yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, and we also really appreciate James here at Rebel Racing Network. He's up there in the chat every week, like us, like another broadcaster, pointing out the stuff that I miss. And I tell you what, today we were just on the same wavelength. We're on about a 30-second delay, and I would do something, and right after I did it, James was telling me, "Hey, can we see this?" And I'm like, I just went there. This is perfect. It's like I'm reading his mind, or he's reading mine, or something.
Right? I know. I've been like, we need to get him up there in the booth.
Yeah, get him up here in the booth. Color commentator or something. We got to get him on iRacing.
Yeah, we do. I agree. He definitely enjoys it a lot.
All right, but we are going to let you go. Feel better soon, and we will see you back here for season 2.
Alrighty, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and once again, that was Dawson. And Lee, I do see you up in the chat as well. I want to thank Lee LaCroix and all the LaCroix family, as well as the Edmonds family, for tuning in every week. Having you guys up in the chat is awesome to see every week, and definitely makes broadcasting just a little bit easier on me. So thank you guys and all the fans for tuning in and making broadcasting worth it for me, guys. So I really do appreciate it. We are going to go ahead and run through our official results real quick. And once again, Seth LaCroix took home the win here tonight. John Ross in second. Omar Rodriguez Jr. comes home third. Josh Edmonds finishes fourth. Connor Price will come home fifth. Joseph Miller in sixth. Dawson Price comes home seventh. Joseph Truskowski in eighth. David Joyner will finish ninth. 10th was Jerry Ward. Nick Hames finishes 11th. Hunter Geyer in 12th. Cooper Liardi finishes 13th. Tristan Haynes in 14th. Bryce Fontaine comes home 15th, rounding out your field. And once again, guys, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in, and I would like to thank AERA for bringing us such an exciting race season. We've already talked about season 2, and they're going to take a couple weeks off and get some recruiting done. So make sure you guys tune in next season, because they're going to bring even more racers to the track. And the first season's always all about working out the kinks, and I think we're going to have an even better season 2. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for that. But while they're on break, we do have more racing here on the Rebel Racing Network. First and foremost, Wednesday night, we are going to have the Lucky Dog Diecast 165 in TCR. That will be live from Chicagoland Motor Speedway. Make sure you tune into that. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday evening. And then right after that on Thursday, we will have the Florida Academy Cup Series presented by Viscera. On Thursday evening at 8:30, they will be live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And those races are ones to watch, dynamic purses, and they are having big money on the line in the coming weeks. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you back here on Wednesday evening.